WTF?
Plum
That
Dum.
couldn't have gone any more wrong. I thought it was a good plan. It would have been solid.
It was a solid plan.
But
Hello, and welcome to the AVandT series, which we haven't been recording for God knows freaking how long.
it's been a while, I'll agree. And, I think it was honestly much needed time for both of us here to get everything situated the right way this time.
For those of you who have been keeping up to date on my YouTube and also my Facebook, I just came back from competing at the Reflections of the King contest in Westfield, New York, just about an hour past the Buffalo area, and I did not place, but we did raise $2,500 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, so very proud of that. While we're contemplating new games and topics to review for our primary, this is going to be just a review of the Season 6 of The Walking Dead, which started with a freaking bang.
The last episode, I was... what's the word? What's the words I'm looking for here? WTF?
Plum
That
Dum.
couldn't have gone any more wrong.
Plum
The
Dum's
whole
done.
plan... Okay. Let's just start with this here. The season, the first episode of the season, obviously, where Rick's plan was to lure a herd of zombies away from the area, right?
Yes.
That couldn't have gone any more wrong.
I like the fact that
I thought it was a good plan. It would have been solid.
it was a solid plan,
But
a foolproof plan can always be broken by a fool.
exactly.
Especially giving it up to actor Ethan Embry for his portrayal of the idiot who decides that he's going to plot an ambush on Rick. Which, by the way, just as a general rule, anybody who plots the death of our main character, you're likely going to die. Either A, by walker bite, or B, Rick's going to get revenge on your ass.
That guy got bit in the face. And I'm just going to say...
Karma. It was brutal. That looked juicy. Like, I've seen walker bites before. Hell, I've seen Rick tear the
Rick
chunks
had no
out of
hesitation
somebody.
stabbing him right in the back of the head, too.
No hesitation. I liked the core thing. I liked that whole, practically, millions, of walkers. A lot of them were CG, a lot of them were just extras. I mean, I was seeing Facebook posts from people who are SAG cards, Screen Actors Guild, for those who don't know, who were extras as the walkers in that quarry sequence. Dude, I envy those suckers because they actually can brag. They were in an episode of The Walking Dead. Whether they died or not, that's a whole other story. I liked the character development. I like Morgan being back. Morgan, who's now a Zen Buddha, Kung Fu bow staff master.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Flashbacks. I like that. It was kind of interesting. It gave you an idea what what happened, what was going on exactly.
I liked the fact that right now, in regards to Rick, he's showing a complete disregard for killing, whether it's Walker or not. At this point now, ever since he tore the throat out of a human being who tried to, kill his son, tried to hurt his son.
That's the start of beast mode right there.
It was the start of freaking Ninja Rick right there, Commando Rick, and I'm not disagreeing with it, but I'm starting to see shades of the Governor again, and it was basically saying,
Well, because if you
okay,
think about it,
will Rick be the end of us all? Is Rick really the healthiest thing? Does the new world really need Rick Grimes? I personally think they do.
the real question is, how does the group really feel? I mean, the group's with him, but the group seems kind of iffy about the whole gung-ho, it's us or them kind of thing.
Well, each of them had, with the entry and adapting to Alexandria, the new home host safe haven, which truthfully I've never really thought of as a safe haven because it's just way too big to really
It is actually
count as a safe haven, whereas the prison, back in the last season, That was more built to
yeah,
be fortified.
That's more fortified.
Here's the thing with the prison at the time. You had the core. You had pacifist Rick, who was more apt to say, okay, well, if I have to kill, it'll only be in defense, and it can only be walkers. You had them all having their roles, like Herschel before the governor decided to be a jackass and kill him earlier than he needed to go, but I've already done that, Ryan. But they all had their roles. Like Herschel was the guidance, the mentor, the sage. Daryl was like the samurai. He was the warrior, the shogun leading into battle against the walkers.
Pretty much.
Carol didn't have her part because she was banned for killing. It turned Carol into Commando Carol.
Exactly.
But like you said, yeah, but she didn't have that role in the prison, which is, unfortunate, because I think if she had been allowed to stay, I think maybe you bring them all in as a council, Daryl, Glenn, Maggie, Herschel, Rick, Tyrese, before he bit the cheese, Sasha, Bob, I mean, everybody as a war council, would have helped to continue fortifying that, and maybe, might not have been so ambushed when the governor decided to go tank man on their ass.
See, that's the thing. When you bring a tank to the party, it's over.
It's over. Flash forward, okay, now to the 2 episodes we're talking about in season 6.
Yeah.
And Rick now has gone the way of the governor, in some ways. Like, he's still partially Rick, but now his conscience in regards to killing.
His conscience in regards to killing
gone.
is gone.
Adapting to something that he just woke up to because he came out of that coma and he comes into the apocalypse.
Pretty much.
Which, by the way, for anybody who wants to see the story before leading up to where Rick comes out of coma, watch Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, it's good.
It's extremely good. Rick evolved and de-evolved of sorts. Like he gained his his killer instinct, and then at points he merged the two, but then he lost himself at various points. Like with the death of his wife, and having to face off against Shane, kind of tore him, and then obviously witnessing the death of Herschel, the destruction and the failure of the prison. His realization that just pacifism and a zombie apocalypse just will not work.
Exactly.
Because the rules have changed, and the rules keep changing, and I think that's
exactly. He realizes that now.
So
he realizes that more than ever.
I think that's what led to his, and then once Carl was in danger of being hurt and killed.
Carl's come a long way too.
Yeah, he has. Over this season, I really seem to think that we're gonna see.
Let's see.
Rick really taking I think a return trip of sorts. He's going to find himself again.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, I think, with the soon-to-be introduction of Negan from the graphic novels, it's going to introduce a lot of aspects to where Rick could really go off the deep end. I mean, for those who do read the graphic novels, spoiler alert, if you haven't, for those who have read it, you already know what we're talking about. In the graphic novel, Negan kills Glenn with a barbed wire baseball bat named Lucille.
Ouchie.
This guy takes it to a core member of our group in the graphic novels. So, and considering Glenn has been the resource man, the go-to, the whole relationship with him and Maggie's been like kind of light to the zombie apocalypse. It's gonna be interesting to see the dynamic because with the show differencing itself at times from that graphic novel. Any person at this point could be the victim of Negan instead of Glenn, or they could just go with Glenn and say, well, guess what, ha ha ha.
Sure. That's true.
But that could be one of the moments that makes Rick snap again. And truthfully, I might even worry, okay, well, is this the snap that takes him where he can't return?
Too far.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll find that out, won't we?
Yes, we will.
Exactly were your thoughts on that last episode?
Okay, the last episode. I thought it was a definite evolution of Carol. I think we saw Carol really.
She went from making cookies to in camouflage commando, shoot you in the face, stab you in the back.
From Susie Homemaker to Susie Samurai.
Pretty much.
Carol definitely has changed since she came into The Walking Dead, those seasons ago. And, like you said, the exile helped turn her into a badass. She's resourceful. She disguises herself to make her look like one of the wolves when the invasion happens, which that was just brutal. I mean, emotion-filled episode. I mean, we see Enid's parents die. We see, we see the Alexandrians really take the worst hit I've ever seen. Since they brought Alexandria into the picture during the last season. The point where, too little, too late. The Alexandrians.
They fared well though.
They did, but that was only because they lucked out with instinct, and they also lucked out because they had.
Carol. They had Morgan. Yeah, that's right.
And. Let's give it,
Morgan's a badass.
Yes.
You remember Morgan from the beginning?
Oh, he was batshit.
I didn't even, yeah.
He was batshit insane
Exactly.
when we last saw him before he returns. Now, the core people for this season that are going to really hold a candle is definitely going to be Daryl. Morgan for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously we're going to have a very heavy focus on Rick. And... Daryl, Carol, Rick, and Morgan. I think Morgan's gonna play. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against Abraham. I have nothing against Eugene. I think they've evolved. And their backstories, their the emotional journeys. They're great. But this is when we saw Morgan come with that note and teasers and everything, and with that note saying, the new world needs Rick Grimes. It kind of said to me that with the return of season 6, a couple weeks ago, Morgan's going to play a pivotal part in whatever path Rick ends up taking. Whether or not he survives this season is something altogether. Because of the way that they've built that. Will Rick... I mean, keep in mind, folks, what I say about surviving, it means two different, it can mean two different things. Surviving as in, alive or dead, or surviving as in with your soul, with yourself still intact, because with a zombie apocalypse, how far can you change yourself before there's nothing left of you? So that's going to be, an interesting way to see where these characters go in the next episodes. So the next episode, the next episode of the AVandT for our Walking Dead series will, of course, I believe, cover the 3rd episode coming up, which is this Sunday. And then we're going to try to keep updated. If we can't do a review per episode, we'll try to cover 2 episodes at once, kind of like what we did here. And it's just going to be, our observations, speculations, things like that. And if you have any ideas of your own, if you agree, disagree, put that in the comments section. Let us know, and we'll respond back to you, or hell, we'll even read some of them on the next review. Also, like we said, check out Fear the Walking Dead, which is the official prequel to that.
You should watch that. It's good.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a whole new set of different characters. We may or may not get to reviewing that. We'll wait until season 6 finishes up for Walking Dead. And then, during the off season, we'll try and get some Fear the Walking Dead related episodes out. So,
alright, well, sounds good to me, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Catch you on the other side.
peace.